Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy xDomoSenpaix, and as y'all can tell, we are here reviewing Volume 1 of Classroom of the Elite, the manga. Mind you, I've never read the light novel, and as an avid fan of the anime, which we just got the Season 2 announcement, which I'm pretty fucking stoked about. But before we get into that, big shout out to Right Stuff Anime and 7 Seas Manga for providing me with this early copy of Classroom of the Elite to review it. I'm super grateful that you guys did this. It's a dope opportunity, and I'm looking forward to everything else in the future, right? That's to come in the future. So again, big props to you guys, and without any further ado, let's get into this. Now, there are stark differences between the manga and the anime, and that's not to say differences between the light novel and the anime and the manga. Like, the differences between them all is huge, right? The differences between them all is huge. Like I said, I didn't read the light novel, so I don't know, but from what I've seen in comment sections, from what I've seen in Reddit threads, it's just like the light novel is, you know, superior, obviously, because it's the original source. So why wouldn't it be that much better? But the way they're explaining things and the way they're portraying the characters are quite different. Ayano Koji being the most different out of them all. Like, sure, Horikita is a little less mean, right? And she's a little more talkative in this one, but Ayano Koji is a completely different character. And we know that's not the case in the light novel, because if you look at the cover art for them, he's what we see in the anime, because the anime is obviously taken directly from the light novel, even though, like I said, there's massive differences. Ayano Koji is way more reserved. He's way more meticulous, and I don't know, it's just very, very, very different. I'm going to review the things, the similarities and differences, right? We're gonna go over the similarities and differences of specific sequences. The beginning, this completely messed me up and completely caught me by surprise, because in the beginning, I think they're already going into either their second year or the next semester, meeting up directly after season 1, right? I believe that's the case. At the beginning of the manga, they're on the bus and they're sitting next to each other, and I'm talking about Suzune and Ayano Koji. They're sitting next to each other and they're talking, right? Like, can I have this seat, this, that, and the third? And I'm like, wait, this is how season 1 started. They were clearly at odds. And then we get to the classroom and I'm just like, what the fuck? Wait, what's going on? And they're still having, you know, casual conversation. Everyone's actually having casual conversation. Suzune was talking a lot, and I'm like, nah, bro, this is definitely not the Suzune that I know from the anime. And then it cuts to Ayano Koji, just like, how did I get here? And then it jumped back and I was like, oh, so did this happen in the light novel? Let me know in the comment section below, because I definitely need some clarity in regards to this stuff. Another big difference is, like I said, Ayano Koji is not reserved. His emotions are on his sleeve. He's not a introvert like he plays out to be in the anime, right? Like in the beginning, he's talking to everyone. He's showing a lot of emotion. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. Moving on, we also get to the point where everyone's talking about spending their points. And by the way, the introduction to Kushida, completely different, bro. Completely different. Here's the thing, I don't know if the manga is adapting the anime in a different way, or it's taking, like, you know, blips from the light novel, but I will say there's a lot of differences. Do I mind them? Not really. The major one that I do mind is Ayano Koji. So in the comment section below, if you've read the light novel, let me know if Ayano Koji is this expressive in the light novel, because if that's the case, then my perspective or my perception of him in the anime is one that shouldn't be, right? I should cut that version out of my head, even though that was the cooler version. I will say he was definitely cooler in that season than anything. But let's get back on topic. They end up going shopping. So remember when we saw Suzune and Ayano Koji at the convenience store? They actually go out shopping, right? They go out like shopping in the manga. And I'm just like, what is this? They got dressed, they met up, they're doing all sorts of other things. And I'm just like, these activities weren't in the anime. Man, let me tell you, I was so confused. And if I continue to review these and hopefully Right Stuff and 7C's, you know, continue to bless me with these volumes, I'm gonna have to read this a completely different way and see these characters in a completely different light than I did the manga, because like I said, the differences were crazy. But what I will say is the art is dope. Just look at the cover of volume 1. It definitely exudes a different Suzune than what we saw in the anime, I must say. When Kushida corners Ayano Koji, right? That was another one that caught me off guard, was when Kushida corners Ayano Koji. It wasn't outside. She didn't leave the cell phone on purpose, which we obviously know that was. Doesn't leave the cell phone in the bedroom. You know, that never happened. This was just after the study session, bro. This was right after the study session, which was crazy, and caught him lacking in the hallway. I was like, what the hell? Made it seem a little more plausible. I was like, that's okay, right? I'm with that. And then remember when their teacher called them in? Oh, before we even get to that, Ayano Koji, prior to, you know, meeting Ichinose and the homeroom teacher for Class B, met them already. Does any of this happen in the light novel as well, and it was just kept out of the anime? Make sure y'all comment down below. And apparently the teacher was hitting on, like the classroom teacher for B was hitting on Ayano Koji, which was wild. That's where we meet Ichinose for the first time, which is like the student council president, or, you know, the class representative of Class B. And she already had her eyes on Ayano Koji, and Ayano Koji had his eyes on her. So I'm just like, okay, this makes sense moving forward as to the I owe you one, and, you know, we're kind of cool when we see each other in the anime. So that was actually pretty tight. So I'll give them big ups for that. And then finding out a little more about Ayano Koji. Remember when their classroom teacher called Ayano Koji up on the roof and they were going over things about, you know, like scores and stuff like that? The teacher ended up calling Suzune to the faculty office. They had a conversation, and then she pulled in Ayano Koji and got to going over the test scores and stuff. So that's how that happened. And again, a lot of this is super interesting because it really takes a shot at the knowledge that you thought you had already. All in all, I think it was a pretty dope read, seeing things from a different perspective. The big blemish to me is Ayano Koji's character, because sure, maybe Ayano Koji is playing coy and being expressive as opposed to his like introvertedness that we saw in the anime. So again, I will definitely recommend this to everybody who is a fan of Classroom of the Elite, just to get a different view of things, right? Just to get a different perspective, because one thing that it had me questioning this whole time, right, is like, is this really from Ayano Koji's perspective? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this really from Ayano Koji's perspective? Because I don't think it is. It seems more like a Kushida perspective than anything, right? Because Ayano Koji and Suzune are totally not who they really are. So I could see this being like a different perspective type thing, but I'll leave that for you guys in the comment section below. Again, thank you Right Stuff 7C's for this early copy. I appreciate it. Leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you are new. Videos every day. You guys already know the deal. I try to get them out at specific times for you guys, so that way you can enjoy them at your leisure. I don't know what's next. I have to talk with Right Stuff, see what we could cook up. I have a lot of very cool ideas, but I don't know if they'll be, you know, if they'll go through. With that being said, it's your boy xDomoSenpaix, and I will see you guys in the next video.